Hi there. This video is an exam paper walkthrough of the Edexcel GCSE Mathematics Foundation Tier Paper 1 from summer 2023. This paper is worth 80 marks in total, and this is the fourth video of 4. It will focus on questions 23 to 31, which account for 21 of these marks. Edexcel Paper 1's on non-calculator, so a calculator cannot be used. A little disclaimer: there may be more than one way to answer a question. The methods shown in this video are not the only way some mathematical skills can be applied. Okay, let's get started. Question 23. The table shows information about the daily rainfall in a town for 60 days. Draw a frequency polygon for this information. So a frequency polygon, we have the frequency up here on the vertical axis that we plot this, but we need to figure out which part of these ranges we plot. So for the frequency polygon, we plot at the midpoint. So between 0 and 5, the midpoint is 2.5, 5 and 10, 7.5, 10 and 15, 12.5, 15 and 20, 17.5, 20 and 25, 22.5. So we need to make sure we're using the midpoints. And then we need to figure out the scale, because the midpoints are how far along we're going to go, and then the frequency is how far up to plot these points. So we're going to go along to 2.5. So if we just figure out this scale here, from 0 to 5 there are 10 small squares. 5 divided by 10 is 0.5. So every 2 squares is 1, and every 1 little square is 0.5. That's important to remember. So we're going to 2.5. So 2.5 is here, and then we're going up to 8. Then we're going to 7.5 and up to 24. 12.5 and up to 13. 17.5 and up to 11. And then 22.5 and up to 4. And then it's important that we join these points together with straight lines. They have to be straight lines. Use a ruler, and obviously ideally use a pencil just in case you make a mistake. Now this is supposed to be a frequency polygon. Currently it's not an enclosed shape. So let's make it an enclosed shape. So now we've drawn a frequency polygon. Question 24. We have this set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Set A is odd numbers, set B are square numbers. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. So let's look at this list and just write the odd numbers in A. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And then let's write the square numbers. So 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. So 1's been used, 3's been used, 4 and 5 have been used, 7 and 9 have been used. So we need to take account of these ones that are not included in either of those two sets. So when we're completing the Venn diagram, any that's in both of the sets, so any that's in A and B, are going to go in the middle here. So we have 1 and 9 that appear in both sets. So 1 and 9 are going to go in the middle. And then anything that's not highlighted here in A is going to go in this part of the A circle. So 3, 5 and 7. And then same for B, 4. And then these circle numbers go on the outside because we didn't include them in either of our sets. So that's the Venn diagram complete. Just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We want to make sure we've used all of those numbers. So a number is chosen at random from the universal set. Find the probability that this number is in the set B complement. So that's not in B. So we're going to ignore the B circle and we're going to include 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of the 10 numbers. So 7 out of a 10 probability that it's not in set B. Question 25. The scatter graph shows information about the ages and weights of some babies. Here's our scatter graph. Describe the relationship between the age and the weight of the babies. So we need to look at what's happening here. We've got a positive correlation because all of the points are moving in an upwards direction. So that tells us that there's a positive relationship between these two things. So what we can say is that as the babies get older, their weight increases because the points are going upwards. So as the babies get older, their weight increases. And it's because it's asked us to describe the relationship. We're not simply putting positive or negative correlation, we're explaining what's happening. So another baby has a weight of 5.8 kilograms. Using the scatter graph, find an estimate for the age of this baby. So to do that, we need a line of best fit. So a line of best fit doesn't have to go through 0, but it does have to follow the trend of this data. And you want to roughly aim for an equal number of points on either side. If I drew it like this, that's not following that upward trend. So try and get a rough midpoint average. It doesn't matter if it does or doesn't go through any of those points, but you want it to follow that trend. So if the baby's got a weight of 5.8 kilograms, so we've got 2, 4, 6. So here's 5. 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8. So there's 5.8. Let's use our line of best fit to estimate this baby's age. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3.246. So we can estimate that this baby is 3.6 months old. Question 26. The price of a holiday increases by 20%. This 20% increase adds £240 to the price of the holiday. Work out the price of the holiday before the increase. So we're looking for the original amount. Again, I'm using a proportion table. So I'm going to deal with the percentage and the cost. So that if that 20% increase adds £240 to the price, then 20% must be £240. So I want to get to 100% because that's the original price. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So if I multiply by 5, so 240 multiplied by 5, that should tell me the original cost. So 5 times 0, 5 times 4, 5 times 2 is 10 plus the 2. So the original cost is £1,200. Question 27. The diagram shows a solid cylinder on a horizontal floor. So here's our cylinder. We've got a height of 40 centimetres. They've given us the pressure equals force over area formula. The cylinder has a volume of 1,200 centimetres cubed and a height of 40 centimetres. The cylinder exerts a force of 90 newtons on the floor. Work out the pressure on the floor due to the cylinder. So we've got the force. So that equals 90. We're trying to work out the pressure. So we need the area. We need the area that's going to be in contact with the floor. Well, the area that's going to be in contact with the floor is this circular part here. Now, we don't know anything about that, but they did tell us that the volume was 1,200 centimetres cubed. And we know the height. So to work out the volume, we would have done the area of this circle multiplied by 40. So if we do the volume divided by 40, that will tell us what the area of that circle is. So I can divide top and bottom by 10, so then I'm doing 120 divided by 4. 4's into 12. 4, 8, 12. 1, 2, 3. No remainder. So 30 centimetres squared is the area of that circle there. So now we have the area. So let's find the pressure. So the force is 90 newtons divided by our 30 centimetres squared. So in Newton centimetre squared, which is fine, Newton centimetre squared, 90 divided by 30 is 3. So it's a pressure of 3 newtons per centimetre squared. Question 28. We've been given 2 linear graphs drawn for us. Use these graphs to solve the simultaneous equations. 2 subtract 2y equals x. That's this equation here in this straight line. 2y equals 3x subtract 22, which is this equation here in this straight line. So to solve them, we need to find where the 2 lines intersect. So the lines intersect here. So they intersect at the coordinate. So let's have a look. 6 minus 2. Remember, coordinates are x and y, so they intersect at x equals 6 and y equals minus 2. Question 29. Work out the value of this calculation. So on the top we've got 4 to the power of negative 6 multiplied by 4 to the power of 9. So let's simplify the top first. So when we're multiplying and we have the same base number, which we do, they both have a base number of 4, we can add those powers. So the numerator becomes 4 to the power of negative 6 plus 9, which is 4 to the power of 3. So now I have 4 to the power of 3 over 4. Now the 4 on the denominator's got an invisible power of 1. When we're dividing, the law of indices for division says that if we have the same base number, which we do, they both have a base of 4, we can subtract the powers. So 4 to the power of 3 subtract 1 is 4 squared. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. Question 30. Write down the exact value of cos 60. So you just need a way of generating your exact trig values. There are 3 different ways of doing it. You can use the triangles to work them out, you can generate the table, or you can use the hand trick. I'm going to use the hand trick. So I want cos 60. 0, 30, 45, 60, and I'm going to put that 60 finger down. So cos is the number of fingers you have above the one that you've just put down. So I have 1 finger above. So I'm going to start by writing root 1, and then it's always over 2. Well, root 1 can simplify. Square root of 1 is 1, so cos 60 simplifies to a half. Question 31. The probability tree diagram shows the probabilities that Shayla will work at home or will work at the office on 2 days next week. So for Monday, the probability of working at home and working at the office. And then for Friday, depending on whether Shayla works at home or the office, we've got the other options here for Friday. Work out the probability that Shayla will work at home on Monday and work at the office on Friday. So we want home on Monday, which is here, 0.2, and then office on Friday, here, 0.3, and we have to multiply those together. Now when we're multiplying decimals, we need to be careful. So let's multiply this one by 10 and this one by 10. So we're doing 2 times 3 is 6, but because we're multiplying, I need to reverse this. So 6 divided by 10 to reverse that one is 0.6, and then divide by 10 again to reverse the other one is 0.06. You would expect 2 decimal places in your answer because you have 2 decimal places in your question. So it's 0.06 probability.